Trey Lance working out with Deebo Samuel, worked out with Ayuk earlier this offseason, but really spending a lot of time right now with Deebo Samuel. He's with Deebo right now while Jimmy's chilling somewhere in Chicago. Do you think this is a sign that Lance is the guy sooner than later? Like now.
Yeah, it sure seems like it. I mean, he's worked with Deebo Samuel. He's spent time with Brandon Ayuk, and he's, Mohamed Sanu. He's been hanging out with George Kittle. Definitely, everything's trending up to the point that he's going to be the guy much sooner than later. And I think the only thing that's really holding us back is the 49ers not wanting to put pressure on him and say that he's the guy right now.
Right.
I think that once they get into training camp, they're going to let it play out. And by the time we get to that last preseason game, it's going to be very clear to everybody who the better quarterback is. And that's when you'll hear that talk coming from the 49ers front office as well.
And that way, the perception will be that the Niners didn't gift him the job. They didn't take it away from Jimmy Garoppolo. That it was a competition and the best man won, and it was Trey Lance. It's a different perception, right?
Yeah, definitely. You want to make it seem like he's having to earn the job, right? And especially as a rookie coming in, and you want your veterans to know that he's worked for it and everything else. So I think that makes the most sense.
Yeah. So I do think when you see Trey Lance going on this, it's almost like a campaign. It's like almost on a political junket. Like, let's see which allies I can get on my presidential bid. Like, yeah, you've got a lot of allies, right, man? You got Ohio, you got California, you got Texas, you got New York. You got them all, man. And Jimmy's over there in Chicago like, yeah, man, take it. I don't care. I don't really want to run for this. I want to go and be the president somewhere. I don't know. That's the way I see it. I do think that Trey Lance is being very strategic right now.
Yeah, well, there's whoever it is that's putting all this out is definitely helping him out as far as getting the perception behind him. But beyond the perception, just the fact that he is spending the time working with these guys is just, I think it's huge, and it shows that he's putting in the work. It shows that the guys want to work with him as well, and there's more to it than just the highlights that we're seeing, I think.
And there's always like the team's official story and their unspoken story. And the official story is that Jimmy Garoppolo is still the quarterback of this team. Forget about Trey Lance. They might as well be putting him in single A. Like, don't even think about him for the next couple of years. He's Joey Bart. Forget about Trey Lance. Jimmy is the quarterback of this team. But privately, they could be telling the guys who are going to be playing this year, Deebo, Kittle, Ayuk, you should probably spend a little time with Trey Lance just in case. I mean, there's a possibility that he could be the guy pretty quick. So it seems to me that the players that matter on this team have got the memo and are spending time with the player who matters for the future.
Yeah, I agree. I think when at the time of the draft he was in I guess maybe the Giants, the low A now is San Jose, right? So at the draft time he was in San Jose. I think he's already up to Richmond, about ready to go to Sacramento at this point, just based off of what we're hearing from even Kyle Shanahan. But back to that again, as far as that he has the ability to, it's up to him whether or not he wins the job, is really the way that I heard it from when Kyle Shanahan said.
Yeah, it's like it's not something he wants to. It shouldn't be his call. It shouldn't be something controversial. It should just be something that everyone agrees on, right? Hey, look at that. And that's what it was. Like, Harbaugh loved Colin Kaepernick, but he never benched Alex Smith. He never said, you know what? I don't care. Colin's better, and I'm just going to say it, and I'm going to play him. It's like, look, Colin, I like you, but we're going to have to kind of play this. And I respect Alex, too. The fan base respects. That would be very controversial to just insert you. It would be very controversial to just take the job away from Jimmy and give it to Trey. This way, it sort of lets the fans make the call. It's like, you watch. You don't need to hear it from me. You watch. Who do you want to start? Just watch him. That's more powerful. Yeah, exactly.
And that's exactly how it played out. And
that way you get the whole team, the whole fan base rallying around this kid, as opposed to, are you Team Jimmy or are you Team Trey?
Right? Exactly.
Back in the day, was there Team Joe and Team Steve among the fan base?
Oh yeah, there was definitely Team Joe. Yeah, there was. Yeah, heck, there was almost got into a fight in high school one day after football practice. One of my teammates, because he was Team Steve and I was Team Joe, and he said something I didn't like, and we almost had at it after practice. We were just the two of us on the field. He was the other quarterback. So
do you remember what he said?
Well, he was just a big Steve Young guy. He said something about Montana getting hurt or something like that, and I took it the wrong way.
And that was somewhere, man.
Yeah, that was about it. I thought that was it right there.
You wait till Steve Young is 38. See how he's doing.
It was. I still remember that conversation. It was kind of funny, and then we just kind of backed off and went back to the locker room after that. So no, enough throwing for today.
Rick Holly says, "Ask Jack what the advantages would be with virtual training." This is something I talked about with my dad earlier and Vish just before. The idea of virtual reality as a training tool for quarterbacks in particular, because everyone says you need the reps. It's hard to get the reps because football's so violent, and for the quarterback to get the feel in the pocket or the feel of what coverages look like, you need all 21 other players playing and risking their bodies and running and exhausting themselves. And there's only so many reps you can have. Although with virtual reality, theoretically, it could be endless. I don't know what the technology is at right now with virtual reality. I don't have virtual reality. But it seems like this could be a tool in the future that could really, really help the NFL develop quarterbacks, which they're not that great at doing. What do you think?
No, you would think that they got to be close to it. I mean, this would be a tremendous thing if they could do that for the quarterbacks, especially like you said, because they might put that little thing on there and they can go out there and play. I know that, for example, this isn't a stick and ball sport, but I know, for example, NASCAR right now they have simulators where these guys are actually out there. They're actually driving the cars on the tracks. Leading up to it. So like this last weekend, they went to a track for the first time they'd never been to. But those guys had put hours and hours on these simulators working before, and that's something that the whole industry is invested in. So
I've seen PlayStation 5. I have an 11-year-old nephew. I know what that looks. Those graphics are amazing. I know what they can do.
Oh yeah. Well, they have all kinds of different things, but yeah, they actually have Ford and Chevrolet and Toyota are heavily invested in building these for the drivers of their cars and separate teams. I could see it would make perfect sense that the NFL should be able to do it. I mean, even if it's somewhat a little bit janky in terms of like the Madden model or something, but still that's reps of be able to take the ball back, read a defense, and learn and delivering the ball. And at some point, you would think that you would be able to build up the AI to where it's pretty realistic to what they'd be facing on a week in, a week out basis.
My original idea for this is like a 7-on-7 league. Because you want reps for these quarterbacks, and the NFL doesn't do a great job of developing them. But this, to me, is an even better idea. I mean, no one is going to get hurt on virtual reality. That's the main reason you don't have a 7-on-7 league. You don't want someone to get hurt, and it's not worth it the way that it would be worth it for the Major League Baseball to have minor leagues and stuff like that. But if you could have this, Trey Lance could be doing this every single day, whether he's at the facility or not. He'd really know the playbook by the end of it.
Yeah, and the technology isn't that far away because you can go hit a golf ball against the screen right now and it's going to show you where your ball goes.
Exactly.
So you should be able to do something like that with a football where the guy drops back and he sees his receiver and he throws it and it calculates everything about the ball, spin and speed and everything and how hard it hits it and project that out to a completion or incompletion or what have you.
Yeah, my prediction is that teams will be doing this in the next 10 years. I would imagine this is the kind of thing that's happening in the military already. And that means the NFL should probably spend some of that money on it too. Instead of just spending on a PFF Gold subscription, guys, maybe you should splurge for a little virtual reality. I really feel like the NFL doesn't do enough to develop their quarterbacks. They spend a lot of money signing the quarterbacks, drafting the quarterbacks, and they're on the team. They're like, well, I don't know, man. Sink or swim, buddy. I don't know what to tell you. Maybe you should think outside the box. Try some of these things. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think the virtual reality training thing, that's a really great idea.
Jeremy Price says, Team Jimmy G, a.k.a. Yimmy Yee. How often will they let you be present for Camp Grant? Every day. It's usually 12 days in a row with a day off. It usually goes 4 days, day off, 3 days, day off, 3 days, day off. And then that third day of practice usually is rough, Jack. That third day in a row, I don't know how it was with how you remember it, but that's when fights happen. That's when injuries happen. These players have like very little energy left. I don't know. It gets tough that third day.
Oh, yeah, especially in the summertime.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Newt Lab TTV, what's up, Newt, says, I'd rather get Jacoby Myers. Harry lacks the horizontal athleticism, and his percentages when challenged for a catch are low. Fantasy letdown. Yeah, I haven't really watched much N'Keal Harry since college, and he was, a lot of players in the Pac-12 who were good in the Pac-12 haven't exactly panned out. But I'm not going to say anyone by name because he got mad at me this morning. I'm really afraid that who I'm not going to say is going to turn out to be like Kwame Brown in 20 years and just eviscerate me. So I'm not going to talk about that guy anymore. I'm sorry. Jeez, you already saw what happened with Kwame Brown. He's coming for everyone that had something slick to say about him 20 years ago. So I'm just going to stop.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. He might come. He might come after you with his cat claws or something.
Ooh, he said that he said it's getting old. I was like, uh-oh. Kwame Brown, here we go. Sebastian says, how many TDs will Lance have after preseason? 18.
That really depends. Yeah, that's a hard one to say.
That's
just based off of. It just depends on how much he plays, but I would guess he's probably going to play a little bit more than Garoppolo early on. Really, if I could see if they start Garoppolo off first, he's going to probably get more reps in those first couple of games. So, let's throw out a number. 3 games. Let's say 6.
Realistically, though, all it's going to take for Trey to take this job is consistent good reports in camp and a few wow plays in preseason. If he makes a few wow plays in preseason, Niner fans are going to fall in love, because for all that Jimmy does, he doesn't give you that. He gives you the golf clap. It's like, man, look at that chip from the rough. That was really nice. But he's never going to just drive it 400 yards, or he's just not going to – you're never going to give you a breathtaking play. That's not him. And Trey does that. I've seen it already in camp. I've seen it. I'm here to report. I'm I'm just here to tell you that good things are coming.
Yeah, that athleticism is going to jump out, and the arm strength will show. Yes.
Thanks, Jimmy.